Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and in this lecture we are going to talk about CI engine, which is a compression ignition engine. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in the last lecture we have seen what is a spark ignition engine, which is a petrol engine. What are the properties of SI engine and what are the processes which are involved in that cycle. So in this today's lecture we are going to see what is a CI engine. What do you mean by a compression ignition? So our first point is, what is a compression ignition? So as the name suggests, that the ignition process inside this combustion chamber happens because of the compression of a fluid. So CI engine is nothing but a compression ignition engine in which the ignition process or a combustion process happens because of the compression of air. So in this case, the compression of air is the major activity for the production of a power output. So the major difference between a CI engine and SI engine is that in the inlet only the air is admitted inside the combustion chamber. So the processes are same. It means it involves suction, compression, combustion and exhaust. But the major difference is that the ignition process happens because of the compression. So we will see each process in brief. Let me clear this first. So the first process is suction. So in the CI engine, so the suction process is nothing but a admission of air. Only the air is admitted inside the combustion chamber. So as compared to the SI engine, air plus fuel mixture is admitted, but in case of CI engine, only the air is admitted during the suction valve, in which the piston moves from, this is a top dead center and this will be the bottom dead center. So in this suction process, piston moves from top dead center to the bottom dead center and the crankshaft revolves in its half revolution. So in the half revolution, the air is sucked into the combustion chamber. So our next process is compression. So the compression process is nothing but a compression of air. In this case, only the air is compressed, because of which the pressure of air is increased and the volume is decreased. So we all know that pressure is inversely proportional to the volume and directly proportional to the temperature. So as the pressure increases, the temperature also increases. Because the volume gets reduced, the distance between the air molecules get reduced, because of which the pressure and temperature increases, and as we know, the total volume is decreased. So at the end of the compression stroke, there is no spark plug that we have seen in the SI engine. There is a fuel injector in which the fuel injector sprays the fluid inside the combustion chamber. So as we know, in the compression, the pressure and temperature has been increased, and at the end of the compression there is a ignition. So what happens is that fuel is injected inside this combustion chamber. The temperature of air is already increased, so that's why the combustion process takes place. So the temperature of air is enough to get the fuel ignited, because the compression ratio that we have seen earlier, this compression ratio of CI engine is high. So this is very important point here. The compression ratio of CI engine is high, because of which the spark plug is not required at the end of the compression stroke to get the ignition. So whenever the high temperature air comes in contact with fuel molecules, the combustion process takes place. So in the combustion, tremendous amount of force is exerted on the wall of these pistons that we have seen earlier in our previous lecture. So as the pressure is increased, we got the power output. So in the combustion process, the piston again moves from TDC to the BDC. This excess power output is then stored inside a flywheel. So what is a flywheel? What is the function of flywheel? That we will see in the next lecture. So the excess energy is stored in the flywheel and the remaining energy is used during the exhaust stroke. So the last stroke is, let me clear this. So the last process is a exhaust stroke. So during the exhaust stroke, the burned gas is exerted outside the combustion chamber to start the new cycle. For that purpose, piston moves from BDC to TDC and the exhaust valve opens. During this, the exhaust valve gets open and the burned gas is exerted outside the cylinder using the exhaust port. So during the exhaust port, the crankshaft again turns for 180 degree, which is a half rotation. So this CI cycle, CI engine is also a 4-stroke engine. CI engine is a 4-stroke engine in which the one cycle completes within the two complete revolution of the crankshaft. So it is similar to the SI engine, but the major changes are fuel type, construction, and also the main point is compression ratio is high. That is the main highlight. The second one is, instead of a spark plug, the fuel injector is used to inject the fuel. So instead of a carburetor, it uses a fuel injector to spray the fuel inside the combustion chamber at the end of the compression stroke. And also at the inlet, instead of air and fuel mixture, only the air is admitted inside the combustion chamber. So these are the main differences between the CI engine and the SI engine. So there are so many different topics that we need to cover whenever we are comparing this CI engine and SI engine, which includes not only the fuel type but the performance of the engine, the efficiency of the engine, that we will see in the separate videos when we compare CI engine, which is a diesel engine, and a petrol engine. So we will see that in brief in our next lecture. So to summarize this topic, we have seen in this lecture that in CI engine, fuel type is diesel. That is the one difference. The second one is it uses only air is admitted during the suction. The next topic is fuel injector is used to spray fuel inside the combustion chamber. And also the last but not least, the compression ratio is higher than SI engine. So these are some key takeaways from this lecture. I hope you like my video, so please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to ring the notification bell to get the latest updates. Thanks for watching.